Hi, I'm back here again in Google Sheets, and this video closely follows on with the previous videos that I've put up regarding the Google Sheets CRM system that I've been building here. In the previous video we looked at some of the JavaScript that goes behind driving the individual client sheets. In this video I just wanted to talk about some of the limitations of Google Sheets and some of the workarounds that we can use to manage those. So first of all, Google Sheets has a limit of 200 sheets per workbook, so 200 individual tabs or sheets, and also it has a limitation of 2 million cells, and that includes cells that are not occupied as well as cells that are merged. So these 6 cells, if I merge them, they still count as 6 cells when it comes to meeting that requirement there, 2 million. Now you can mitigate this by, when you create your initial client data sheet, this one here, ideally you would perfect everything that you need on the one sheet, and then you would simply duplicate that sheet by right clicking on the tab at the bottom and going duplicate, and that will create an exact replica of that particular sheet, which you can then rename to suit your requirements. However, before you proceed to do that, it would be a good idea to come down to the bottom of your sheet to have a look at how many rows are in that sheet. When a sheet is created by default, it generally has 1,000 rows. As you're working on creating these sheets, it's a good idea to take account of just how many rows you're going to need. For example, if you are expecting perhaps a call frequency of maybe 100 calls in a year, you probably don't need more than about 150 or 200 rows. And so you might like to take everything from 200 downwards and delete those rows. So you can highlight row 201 and just page down till you get to the end, then right click and delete rows. If your individual client data sheets started off with 1,000 rows and you've taken that down to 200 rows and the sheet is, say, 20 columns wide, that's a saving of about 16,000 cells per sheet. So you want to do that before you start duplicating these sheets, because the number of cells in all of those sheets will start to add up really quickly, and you could hit this 2 million cell limit before you even reach the 200 sheet per workbook limit. Now both of these can be worked around if you have lots and lots of data. If you have hundreds or even thousands of clients, you can create multiple workbooks in Google Sheets, and you can still link to the individual tabs or the individual sheets in other workbooks using their individual hyperlink or URL. So these are still going to be a unique ID number even if they're in a completely different workbook, and you can link to them from this workbook without a problem. So you could very well have 2 or 5 or 10 different workbooks containing client data, and you can link to all of those different sheets from the main workbook that you're working from. So that'll help you get around the 200 sheets per workbook limit and also the 2 million cells limit if you do exceed that. There is one other limitation that I've come across that I haven't yet been able to work around, and that's if you have data in these fields. Let's say a tech has been filling out this form, and then you go to submit that form while one of these cells is still highlighted. The script will not actually be able to get that data if that cell is still in focus. So you can see that the caller field has not translated down here. However, if I were to click out of that field before I submit it, there's no issue there. So that's just one little thing that I've come across. I might find a workaround for that at a later time, but I haven't come across one yet. So I've got a blank cell up here which I click on to unfocus any of these potential cells before I can go ahead and submit that form. And you can put some instructions in there if you want to, just to help remind techs that they need to do that. Okay, so that pretty much covers the ins and outs of this Google Sheets CRM system that I've built. As you can see, there's quite a lot of different things that you can do with it. It can be quite powerful, especially when you're introducing different JavaScript scripts to drive different functions on the sheet, and it's highly customizable to whatever business you happen to be running. It's not just for tech support kind of applications. If you're using it for marketing or even recording sales history, you can probably get similar useful functionality out of a system like this, and it may work in tandem or alongside existing systems that you have, dedicated software such as accounting or even just another CRM system. I hope that series of videos has been helpful. As always, if there are any questions, go ahead and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.